The United States defense apparatus executes multi-billion-dollar logistics and technology contracts every single day. The scale of military procurement requires a specific legal framework to keep the supply chain moving without interruption. This framework is 28 U.S.C. Section 1498. It grants the federal government eminent domain over domestic intellectual property. If the military requires a specific technology for national security, they have the legal right to seize the patent and use it immediately. The government directs its contractors to build the seized technology, while the law shields those vendors from patent lawsuits. The original inventor is forced to seek royalties from the United States government in the Court of Federal Claims, often resulting in massive settlements funded by taxpayers. R.J. Aguiar, a former managing director at Goldman Sachs and a Google search engineer, holds a portfolio of 52 technology patents, ranging from nuclear logistics to optical computing. Aguiar inverted the standard procurement model by granting the U.S. military a perpetual, irrevocable, royalty-free license to his entire portfolio. By giving the blueprints to the Department of Defense for free, he ensured the government holds clear title to use his inventions without owing a single cent in royalties. Imagine a mechanic fixing your car using parts you already bought and paid for, then handing you a bill for a brand new vehicle. Aguiar alleges defense contractors are taking his freely licensed intellectual property, integrating it into their systems, and then billing the Pentagon for research, development, and licensing costs. The billing reflects a premium for the underlying intellectual property, the core ideas the government already holds the rights to use for free. This alleged procurement fraud involves massive military integrators like Science Applications International Corporation, alongside the executive leadership of Google, Apple, Meta, and Microsoft. If these claims hold water, American taxpayers are unknowingly paying a double charge for defense technologies that should have cost the government $0 to license. Traditional heavy logistics are limited by the physical strength of mechanical couplers. Whether it is a freight train or a truck convoy, the front engine pulls the cumulative weight of the entire chain. On steep inclines, the immense tension on those hitches reaches a failure point where the metal simply snaps. Aguiar's solution is the Atomic Express. A lead nuclear vehicle distributes megawatts down a central umbilical to independent self-propelled nodes. Piezoelectric hitch sensors detect physical strain instantly. When a node drags, its motor automatically increases torque, neutralizing the strain before the metal snaps. Mathematically neutralizing mechanical tension allows the convoy to function as a single synchronized organism. Convoy length is no longer restricted by the failure point of a metal hitch, enabling the deployment of nuclear-powered logistics chains of virtually any length. Coordinating thousands of autonomous nodes requires massive computing power, but pushing billions of electrons through microscopic copper wires creates electrical resistance. In high-performance environments, traditional silicon chips generate so much heat they eventually melt. Aguiar's patents detail a post-binary optical architecture. Information moves via multi-wavelength light rather than electrons. Because photons do not generate the resistance found in copper, the system avoids the thermal degradation that forces traditional silicon to throttle its performance. When Lockheed Martin upgraded the processing power inside the sealed nose cone of the F-35, they faced these thermal constraints. Aguiar alleges that to achieve a 25-fold increase in computing power without melting the jet from the inside out, the contractor utilized his patented optical interconnects. This optical architecture is allegedly being hidden inside modern battlefields and consumer file sharing protocols, all without acknowledging the foundational patents that made the hardware possible. To prove the fraud, Aguiar weaponized the legal concept of actual knowledge under 35 U.S.C. Section 154(3). This statute establishes a legal point where a party can no longer claim ignorance of a patent's existence. He utilized the RPost service to send cryptographically hashed, millisecond timestamped notices directly to Pentagon officials and tech CEOs. The system generates an undeniable digital record of the exact moment the recipient's server accepted the data. This immutable chain of custody strips away plausible deniability. If a procurement officer receives verified proof of a double charge and fails to initiate an audit, the legal landscape shifts from bureaucratic oversight to complicity in fraud. cornering multi-billion-dollar corporations triggers asymmetric retaliation. According to the document, this pushback bypassed federal intellectual property courts entirely, moving instead to a local county court in Texas. Aguirre alleges a synchronized effort to manipulate a local domestic relations docket, manufacturing irregular civil property disputes the day after his federal filings were submitted. The alleged goal was data spoliation, using a local property dispute as a pretext to have local law enforcement raid Aguirre's home and confiscate the physical hardware containing the source code for his inventions. Aguirre fought back by reminding corporate lawyers of their fiduciary duty to file material risk disclosures with the Securities and Exchange Commission, putting their professional licenses and careers directly on the line. This localized retaliation suggests a systemic fear of a federal audit. The objective appears to be the use of civil asset forfeiture to destroy the evidence before an investigation into the procurement fraud can begin. Beyond the financial dispute lies a geopolitical threat. Aguirre's optical computing models possess the mathematical cardinality to execute brute force decryption at speeds legacy binary systems cannot match. The blueprints for this asymmetric decryption capability are currently sitting in the public U.S. Patent Registry, available for any global actor to study. The U.S. military holds a legal, free right to build this unhackable architecture immediately, yet the process is paralyzed by bureaucratic inertia and the profit motives of its contractors. If a rival superpower adopts high-radix optical compute first, the mathematical assumptions protecting our secure networks vanish. Our current encryption standards rely on binary computers being too slow to guess the key. An optical adversary could read those classified files in real time.